Lady Shiva, who would kind of go on to be a standout character in the DC universe. And so the original Red Robin appeared in the Kingdom Come Hi, I'm Glenn Simpson, and I've collected comics for over 40 years, and I'm showing off my collection one box at a time. Today we're looking at box number 125. We're going to start off with some Red Hood, make our way through some other red stuff, Red Tornado, etc., Red Robin. We are going to get into Resurrection Man, Return of Superman, Richard Dragon, and then make our way into some Robin. And there's all sorts of things in between. So thanks for being here. It's going to be a good time. Please like and comment and subscribe. All good things for the channel. But hey, let's get going here on Glenn Simpson's Comics. Alright, we begin with the Rebirth series on Red Hood and the Outlaws. Last time I said I would try to figure out remember what order all these series went in, and it was, so basically it's Red Hood and the Outlaws first series, then Red Hood and Arsenal, then Red Hood and the Outlaws second series, and then Red Hood Outlaw, which kind of makes sense because Arsenal is in the first series and so forth. But anyway, so this is second series, Red Hood and the Outlaws. Right there, we got Red Hood teaming up with Artemis, the Amazon, and a Bizarro. You know, Bizarros just tend to pop up when you're least expecting it. There's a little bit of inconsistency there. There's probably a cool story to be told of where all the Bizarros come from, but at the very least, I guess it's fair to say that, you know, there's at least one that is, you know, being created on Earth, and then there's another one that is from a parallel dimension where, you know, like everybody's a Bizarro or something like that. So, anywho, that's issue 1 through issue 8. Right there, we're trying to figure out who is Artemis because, of course, the whole Wonder Woman lore is being rewritten, so the Artemis lore has to be rewritten as well. Let's see, issue 9 there through issue 16. This is actually a pretty neat version of Bizarro. He gets smart for a while, and he doesn't talk in that irritating, you know, irritating Bizarro speak the whole time. If I remember, as I remember, issue 17 through issue 24. There. Issue 25. People are apparently paying a little bit more for this one. Not sure why. All I can think of is it's, you know, a good Red Hood punching Batman cover there. There. 26. There you go. So, as I mentioned, this series will continue on into Red Hood Outlaw, but I'm being anal about the alphabetizing, so we won't get there yet. Stand by. So they had, during that run, there's some annuals. This annual 1 with Nightwing through issue 3. There, which is really might be more of a Red Hood Outlaw annual. I just noticed that. I'll have to look into that. I didn't notice that before. I'll have to look at the indicia. During this series, well, during the first series, there was the Red Hood and the Outlaws New 52 Futures End kind of holographic thing. Here. I don't know if that's coming through. When we did get to the Rebirth series, like all the Rebirth series, they had a one-shot first, and then we go into issue 1 of the actual series. So then, yes, we go into Red Hood Arsenal, which was the follow-up to the first Red Hood and the Outlaws. I don't know why they just decided to drop Starfire. I don't know why. I don't remember where she went, but it came down to what was a trio is now a duo. So issue 1 there. So this is the adult coloring book cover. This was a kind of a craze going on. Maybe it still is. Adult coloring books, and this actually, unlike most of the variants at the time, is an actual. It's just on top of the A cover, which is now what they're doing with the cardstock covers. So makes me wonder if there's some reason why they don't. If it's cardstock, they need to put the A cover underneath. I don't know. Anywho, issue 8 right there, variant. Issue 9, we've got the Neil Adams variant. So artist Neil Adams coming in and kind of recreating some of his classic covers, but using whoever the characters are. Look at those pouches, man. Using whoever the characters are in the book. There was a time when Discount Comic Book Service would give you a discount, even bigger discount, if you ordered all of the variants that fit a particular theme for DC that month. And it worked out. That was, the cheaper option for me, since I was already getting most of them for several months, to get that kind of cluster of variants. So that's the main reason I've got a lot of these. So that's 9 through 13, and that would be the end of Red Hood and Arsenal. So then we jump back after the second series to Red Hood Outlaw. So now we've dwindled down to just Red Hood. He's got his crowbar that he's ironically using, since that was what the Joker used to kill him. And issue 27 through 32 right there. Then we have another book that people are paying a little more for right now. Issue 33. Again, not sure why. Maybe they just like the cover. It's not really a key that I'm aware of. Let me know in the comments if I'm wrong. 34. There. Through 36. Bringing back Bunker. Bunker was one of the characters that was created for the New 52 Teen Titans book. And even though a lot of that got retconned, he's still around as far as I know. I guess we don't really know his background at this point. 37. So we've got Red Hood getting a little super team together from some fugly, various, unfortunate folks with powers. Issue 37 through 40, bringing back Artemis and Bizarro. There. 41. Got our teams, his two teams at odds there. Through 44. there. And 45. So I never could quite keep track of this whole lore around Essence but these are people that apparently Red Hood trained with or something after he came back to life. I don't know. There's a lot of weird, the Unburdened or something, like that. These names that get thrown around. 45. 48 is a tie-in to Joker War. So Dick Grayson had been shot in the head and lost a lot of his memory. So he was running around as just Rick Grayson. And then somebody figured out how to program memories back into him, but they put in the wrong ones. Making him a bit of a killer. And so we have which punchline is involved. And so we have this little face-off here. Issue 49. Kneel before Bizarro. And this series ends with 52, I think. Yes. Alright, then we go to Red Hood, The Lost Days. This kind of gets into telling in flashback the issues and events around the rejuvenation of Jason Todd from when he was dead to when he was brought back. We've got artist Billy Tucci doing the covers from She. Don't know how much, he didn't do a lot of DC work, I don't think, but did the covers on here. Pablo Raimondi doing interior work. So issue 1 through issue 6 there. That gets us out of the Red Hood. Next we have Red Hulk. So the Red Hulk is, of course, General Thunderbolt Ross, as seen in the Captain America movie, the Brave New World. Here he is captured by Dr. Doom under the One World Under Doom situation, but he manages to break out. And this is actually the first Red Hulk series, because the previous series that he had appeared in was just Hulk. So I was actually a little surprised at that when I noticed it. So anyway, that's issue 1 through issue 5, right there. He is in issue 6, and it ends with issue 10. Apparently on none of these covers, but Machine Man and Deathlock appear in this series as well, for those Machine Man and or Deathlock fans out there. Then we have Red Lanterns. So for years and years and years, we only had, Green Lantern. We had Star Sapphire, that was understood at first to be a one-off, who had kind of different, she didn't have a ring per se. And then Jeff Johns comes along and introduces the whole spectrum of ring bearers and pulls in the Star Sapphires as one of them, each one with a different color. And the Red Lanterns are Rage, and so they got their own series here in the New 52. And like most of the New 52 series, after a year or so, they had a 0 issue. So this is as Atrosotus, I believe is his name on the cover. Not said that out loud before. That's the 0 issue. But we've got the issue 1. I don't have all of these. This was just, I'm not really an anti-hero kind of guy in a lot of cases, but I'm trying to pick them up in back issues. We do have Ed Benez doing the artwork, so they are pretty, at least the covers. And well, he's doing interiors as well. Even with Bleeze. Okay, let me talk about Bleeze for a minute. Like, I would like to appreciate a well-drawn Ed Benez woman, but she's got these stupid wings on the side of her head, and I just can't, man. They just, okay, maybe, okay, yeah, isn't that better? Isn't that better? Anyway, issue 1 through issue 8. There. And then I skip to issue 13. Eventually I had to start getting them because of the whole variant thing that I was talking about earlier. I probably, and then also just crossovers, and all that. So it's like, well, let me just go ahead and go back and get all of them. Issue 13 through 20. There. 21. Guy Gardner through 28. This one is actually a flip book with Green Lantern, I think 28. And so I don't really usually have 2 copies of anything, but I did end up getting 2 copies of this so that I could have a copy of the same, copy of the book over here as well as over there. That's the kind of thing that'll, more than a variant cover, that's the sort of thing that'll get me to buy more than 1 copy, is doing a flip book and making one book the same issue for 2 different series. Issue 29. This is, of course, the Red Daughter. So Supergirl in the New 52 kind of starts off kind of angsty and angry because, unlike Superman, she actually saw Krypton get destroyed in this version, and her home city of Argo City and whatnot. So she's got a lot of anger, and that fits right in with the Red Lanterns sort of thing. So there's a little, doesn't last long, but she's in there for a bit. 29. That's actually something I think they're playing into with the upcoming Supergirl movie, actually. Got issue 36, part of the Godhead, so it's the Lanterns and the New Gods coming together. 37, Simon Baz. I'm pointing him out because I keep forgetting his name, so I'm like, Simon Baz. Hey everybody, I remembered his name, Simon Baz. There. And 40. I believe it's the last issue of Red Lanterns. So they had an annual Atrocitus fighting Guy Gardner. Atrocitus? That's probably right. It's probably closer to that. It's got to sound more like the negative sounding word that it's a derivative of. Again, we've got a Future's End. It's kind of like a Nihilus thing. Alright, then we get to Red Robin. So, the original Red Robin appeared in the Kingdom Come 4-issue series and was I believe, a future identity of Dick Grayson. Like he had gone back to being Robin, but he was not just he was an adult Robin, so he was Red Robin. And that's kind of where it, got left. And then over time, and I don't remember if in the story that's ever specifically stated, there are some editions, like collected editions, that have more notes about who everybody was supposed to be. So maybe one of them, I don't know if I made that up or what, but I mean, that's just the impression I got from it. Then when Batman was thought to be dead, Jason Todd took on that armor, that costume, and identity of Red Robin, I believe, if I remember correctly, which was the first time we're seeing it in regular continuity. And they would do that with a lot of Kingdom Come stuff. Just every once in a while, they would just kind of grab a few things here and there and throw it in there, Gog and Magog and all that. But then once Dick Grayson settled in as Batman, then Tim Drake, the Robin at the time, decides to become Red Robin. He does not believe that Bruce is dead, which he's right. And so he adopts this identity in his pursuit of searching for Bruce, because everybody's mad at him, I don't know why, for searching for Bruce. Anywho, so that's the full history of the Red Robin identity. Other than there is the Red Robin burger chain, which I don't know if anybody considered that when naming character Red Robin. There's also, for the record, Speedy went by Red Arrow for a while, which in my part of the world we have Red Arrow car washes, so I always thought that was kind of funny. Anyway, issue 1 through issue 4. As I've mentioned before, you know that this Batman is Dick Grayson because he has a bat as his bat buckle. That's the way to remember it, as far as I'm concerned. That's how I remember it. And we have issue 5. Tim hanging out with Ra's al Ghul. Through issue 8. Some spidery dudes. Or, well, that's a spidery dude. Issue 9. Marcus Toe. Through issue 13. There. Issue 14. So Damian getting into blows with Tim. 18. Tim heading over to Russia, hanging out with Red Star over there. Red Star was originally introduced in the 1960s Teen Titans, where he was called Starfire, and then later brought back for an issue or two of New Teen Titans, where he changed his name to Red Star because, Starfire was already being used again. And he shows up every once in a while here and there. Have issue 19 from that month when all the DC Comics books kind of look like that. White background, big symbol, character underneath. That through 23. There. Issue 24 is a book that people are exchanging for higher amounts of money if it's in 9.8 or 9, near mint, which mine was until I had a little bit of a pressing incident. But so unfortunately mine is now very fine. But although it's looking a little better, it's looking, I don't know. I may rethink that. But anyway, 24. But I don't know why. I don't know why people are paying a little bit more for it. But they certainly are paying more for 25. With Cassandra Cain here as Black Bat on the cover. Maybe just because of Cassandra Cain, I'm going to guess. And then that ends with issue 26. So this is a reference to Identity Crisis, when Tim's father was killed by Captain Boomerang Sr., and which was his last. So he was the Robin who still had parents for a long time, and then until he wasn't. So there you go, issue 26, right there. Sorry, I had a bit more of an interruption than I usually do. Let's get back to it. Red She-Hulk. So this picked up from, I believe, the Hulk series, or a Hulk series, and so that one which ended at 57. So this one picks up. We've got Betty Ross as the Red She-Hulk at this stage. 58 through 62. Jeff Parker writing. Issue 63. Got Machine Man. So that makes two series where Machine Man is hanging out with Red Hulk / She-Hulk. I just noticed that. There. Through 67 was the final issue of that. Then we have Red Skull. Kind of flashback series about the Red Skull. Issue 1 through issue 5. That. And then there was a second Red Skull series. I've only got the second issue. Picked up in a dollar bin. Part of the Secret Wars. So working on getting issue 1 and 3, 4, however many. We get to Red Sonja. So this one, I think this is the movie adaptation. I don't have a lot of Sonja. Not a big Conan, not a big Sword. I play D&D, but just comic books about it. Red Sonja, I think this is the movie adaptation. Issue 1 through 2. There. And then I picked up this, Walt Simonson cover one day, just because, that's just a cool cover. There. And then, of course, she's had some various series over at Dynamite, and I might have, been talked into getting them for $1 or whatever here and there, when they passed by me for a low price. That's issue 0. Got issue 1 here, John Cassaday. This one is Greg Land, of course. But another one that I couldn't pass up is George Perez, my favorite artist, with a variant cover on issue 12 right there. Alright, from Red Sonja, we go to Red Tornado. Red Tornado is a artificial being created by mad scientist T.O. Morrow, who created him to infiltrate the Justice Society and then turn on them. If that sounds like the Vision, it should, but the Tornado decides to not be a bad guy. He decides to be a good guy, but so he becomes a Justice Society member, and then he winds up sacrificing his life, per se, thinking around Justice League of America 100, the crossover that flashed back to the Seven Soldiers of Victory, and then he got rebuilt, and he migrated over to Earth 1 and became a member of the Justice League and got a new costume. When I was a kid, you often hear about people who don't see the S in Superman's S. They see like the yellow. They don't recognize the S in the negative space or whatever. I never had a problem with that. But the T, I never figured out that. It took me forever to figure out that was a T, because to me the T there should be less. It should be higher. The yellow bar should be higher up. It should. But anyway, I'm making excuses. So, but he had various solo stories in Detective Comics and World's Finest or things like that. Never really had his own series until bada bing. Kurt Busiek comes along and does a 4-issue series, Red Tornado, which goes through issue 4. He's fighting the Construct, which is from a very early Justice League of America issue. It's basically kind of a artificial intelligence that just emerges from all of the technology around the world, just kind of coalesces, which actually, would make more sense now than it did back, in 1960 something. That's issue 4. Then he got a second limited series. And along the way, we would find out that there was another sort of Justice League menace called the Tornado Tyrant, who had been defeated, kind of an air elemental thing. He decided to be a good guy, and so at the point when the Red Tornado was being reconstructed, he infiltrated or merged unknowingly. So all this time, the Red Tornado, or at least since he was rebuilt, he has actually been had some living creature about him, which I think was just a way of saying he's not just a robot. He's actually got a living being about him. But anyway, in this 2009 series, we find out there are some other red elementals: Red Torpedo, Red Volcano, and Red what's the other one? Maybe we'll find out. Hang on. Issue 1. It's Red Volcano, Red Torpedo, Red Tornado, Red Inferno, maybe? Anywho, because Volcano is the Earth one. So, issue 6. Then we get to Relative Heroes, by Devin Grayson, who was doing a bunch of Batman stuff at the time. This was her kind of pet project, and it was about these. It's a little bit like Power Pack. These kids who go on the road, and I guess they're a little older. They can drive, and go on the road in search of something. I forget what they were searching for, but they are, it's not your typical superhero story. So that's issue 1 through issue 6. I believe they are going into Metropolis to find Superman to get, help, dealing with the fact that they have superpowers. So, because they figure he's the best superhero, so he should be able to help them. Let me get to Reptil. Reptil was introduced in the Avengers Academy series, and I think he was in a game or something. He got a lot more like airtime than most of those characters. So he got his own limited series. He can obviously transform parts of his body into the corresponding dinosaur parts. Issue 1 through issue 4, right there. Then we get to Resurrection Man. So the premise here is that this guy, every time he dies, he comes back to life, and when he does, he has a different superpower. This was a play on an older character, I believe the Immortal Man. So you had, other immortals like Vandal Savage, who just lived a long time. The Immortal Man kind of lived a life, but then he would just kind of reincarnate. But he remembered, his past lives and all along the way. This was a little bit more, more action-oriented. He, can fly, and then he gets killed, and so then he, a few hours later, he wakes up, and he has heat beams coming out of his eyes, just whatever. And this first issue, this is like a plastic applique. I should probably put some sort of backing board. I keep forgetting about this. That's stuck on the book. But that's Resurrection Man number 1. I didn't get this when it first came out, but I do kind of dig it. So I jumped to issue 6. This is the body doubles. They're assassins, but they're also super hot. That's their thing. And they're dealing with parademons in the Genesis crossover through issue 8. Once again, not he doesn't literally look like this. This is just representing his relationship with death, if you will. Got issue 16, where Resurrection Man has a crossover with Supergirl. This is not the Kara Zor-El. This is the Matrix Linda Danvers version from this time frame. Right there through 23. I think maybe does he change genders at some point? Accident, as part of the power thing. I can't remember. I've read them, but just whether I remember it or not. Then issue 24. There, fighting some dude. Through 27. There, Jackson Geis doing art. Rest in peace. That was the final issue of that. Along the way, he got a 1 million issue. So of course he's still alive, right? It's the year is the 853rd century, but that's his deal, right? Is he doesn't stay dead, so he's still around. And by this time, he's got this glove that can like kill him. It's all kind of under control. Like he can gain powers, specific powers or whatever, And there's just a momentary, when it kills him. But then he comes back with the powers that he needs, and that kind of thing. So then he also got a new 52 series, and of course a year in that series got a 0 issue, so that's what we're seeing here. And then I think sometimes the new 52, I don't know that anybody was like, ooh, of the top 52 properties that we have here at DC, oh yeah, definitely Resurrection Man should be one of those 52. I think that, sometimes it was things that were already in the can that they were working on. It had just been, time to do another series. I think it's the same, same writer, Abnett and Lanning, and they're just kind of like, or it was like, hey, we need series. Abnett and Lanning, what can you put together quick? And they're like, well, hey, we'll work overnight to get this done if you'll let us do Resurrection Man. And I'm like, okay, whatever. So issue 1 there of the new Resurrection Man through issue 8 there. Issue 9 going up against the Suicide Squad. Heavy movie oriented cast there through issue 12. I should probably break this up into 1 through 6 and 7 through 12. Didn't catch that when I was going through the box earlier. And that is the end of the second series. There is a third series currently out as we record, but it's kind of a black label thing, so I'm just not then we got Resurrection of Magneto, just kind of during the fall of Krakoa, Magneto got killed, and his backup, because Krakoa was all about they could reincarnate, but his backups got destroyed, so he was on his last life. So when he got resurrected, it was a much bigger deal that they were able to do that. And I've got a delightful fingerprint on my copy. Then we've got the Return of Superman 30th Anniversary Special. So back in the box with the D's, we would have seen the Death of Superman 30th Anniversary Special, and that was followed by the Return of Superman 30th Anniversary Special. Here, where he goes up against a new story with a lot of the elements of the Death of Superman. The thing that I feel like they've not resolved, and they're just going to make us deal with it, is they've in the New 52, the cyborg Superman, or a cyborg Superman, was Zor-El, Supergirl's father, but then they brought back all these original elements of Hank Haywood and that kind of thing. But then I've seen references to Zor-El still being a cyborg Superman. So maybe there's if you're a cyborg and you're a Superman, there's just a certain look you have. There's just a pattern to it. That's why they look the same. Anyway, issue 1 of that big one shot. Return of Wolverine. So there came a day when Wolverine actually died, and I think the way it was depicted was he got submerged in or covered in liquid adamantium, which when I first thought about it, I was like, well, that doesn't mean he's dead. He's just in there growing back, and he just can't get out. But then I thought, well, I guess if the parts can't really grow, if it's like infiltrated his body, then his body can't reconstitute well enough for him to actually come back to life. So I guess that counts as he's dead. But hey, he came back, of course, somehow. And this is part of the story of that. Issue 1. He came back, and he came back with an extra power for his claws to be hot when he popped them. A thing that was quickly forgotten and never used again. That must have just been a temporary side effect. You know. Then we've got Return to Planet Hulk. So the 20th anniversary of the Planet Hulk storyline. Got to return to the savage world of Sakaar. The Hulk had been a menace, and so the Illuminati trick him into getting to a spaceship, and they're firing him off into space, and they have a very pleasant planet, uninhabited planet for him, planned for him, but then the rocket gets knocked off course, and he winds up on this barbaric planet where he winds up, you know, working his way up the ranks and ruling the place, and then he eventually comes back to Earth and, you know, takes out his revenge on said Illuminati until somebody talks him down and convinces him not to take them all out. So, Return to Planet Hulk. How's that for a summary of the entire Planet Hulk storyline? Revolution Prelude. I don't have much else of this. I just thought it was kind of neat. I got it, again, a dollar boxy kind of thing. This is all of the, I guess, Hasbro. I always get the toy companies mixed up. Hasbro properties teaming up. We got ROM. We've got G.I. Joe. We've got Transformers. We've got is it Mask or Cops. I get those mixed up. Is there any more? I think that sums it up. Micronauts, that's the other one. So all the toy company properties in the same world. I believe they call that the Energon universe now. I don't know if it's the same thing, but that world where all those characters live in the same universe. So, alright, then we have a series of one-shots under the Revolutionary War, which these are updated, and it's done by Mark Brooks covers, so they're pretty. Marvel UK titles that had previously been in the in the 90s. So we've got things like Motormouth and Kill Power, and of course Captain Britain, but Dark Angel, Death's Head. We got Pete Wisdom in there, who's not from Marvel UK, but you know, since he's British. The Knights of Pendragon, Warheads, all kinds of Digitech. So I think that's Digitech. And they kind of get a little update and have a little ongoing storyline, and each issue focuses on one of the characters, but it all starts in Alpha and it ends in Omega right there. Then we get to Richard Dragon. So the original Richard Dragon series, which we'll see in a second, was kind of a play on DC's attempt to cash in on the 1970s fascination with Kung Fu and martial artists and Bruce Lee and all that stuff. So they brought the character kind of floated around in the old Question series, which we saw a couple of boxes ago. He had aged and was in a wheelchair, and had kind of, he was no longer at full strength. But then, we're on the other side of Infinite Crisis and whatnot here, so continuity may have, kind of shifted. But he is back to, they're kind of trying to make him another action star for DC. Issue 1, right there, through issue 8, there, and issue 9, through 12. Once again, I should probably do this as 1 through 6 and 7 through 12. Keep missing that. Right there. Versus Lady Shiva. Now, okay. Okay. Hold that thought. Stick a pin in that. So now we go, actually, alphabetically speaking, we jump back to the original Richard Dragon Kung Fu Fighter, so more on the end of the name, and where his first series was introduced. He's actually, I didn't know this for a long time, I just recently learned this, he's from a novel that, not Chuck Dixon, wouldn't have been the one, Gary Conway maybe, whoever's writing this, wrote, and so then they're adapting the character here to comics. But Lady Shiva, who would kind of go on to be a standout character in the DC universe, and is the mother of Cassandra Cain, and you know, appeared in every month in the current Batgirl series, was introduced here, and here in issue 5. So that's kind of, Richard Dragon may have gone the way of all things, but Lady Shiva is still around. Also introduced here is the Bronze Tiger, who would go on to be a mainstay of the original, well, the 1980s and 90s Suicide Squad book. Issue 5 through issue 7. I'm working on getting these. I didn't have them on my list originally because it's like, you know, kung fu, not necessarily superheroes, but I changed my mind. It's classic DC. Issue 14 with a heavy reference to Bruce Lee there, and 17. Oh, I say 17 like that's the last issue, but it's not. 17 there, Bronze Tiger. And 18. I think this is either, I don't remember if this is the final issue or the last one I have. But there you go. Got his Buccaneer boots on. I don't think, we didn't know this was, you know, we didn't know it was Ben Turner. You know, that's the big secret of Bronze Tiger, is that Bronze Tiger is the guy that has been his friend all along. Anyway, then we get to the Riddler. Have the one shot from the Year of the Villain time frame. I know there's been a lot of Riddler stuff coming out of like the Batman movie and stuff, but just not something that I'm been interested in. Then we have Rise of Apocalypse, so the origin of Marvel's most fearsome villain, Apocalypse, from over in the X-Men. Basically, one of the Earth's earliest mutants. He is virtually immortal, and he has this sort of philosophy of survival of the fittest, and so he will send his agents out to try to fight people and kill and whatever to make sure that only the strongest remain. So issue 1 through issue 4 right there. We have Rise of the Powers of X, part of the end, sort of towards the end of the Krakoa period. Drawing a blank on the details there. Issue 1. Got some Jean Grey. Issue 5. All right, so then we begin our roll through Robin. So, Robin. The original Robin was Dick Grayson, who appeared in the earlier Batman comics as his sidekick. Dick Grayson, a circus acrobat kid who his parents are killed, so Batman takes him in and makes him his partner, and he becomes Robin. And that Robin, he would have his own feature in, I believe, Star Spangled Comics for a long time. He would appear solo in, what would you call it? In Batman Family, and, backups in Batman, things like that. But he never actually had his own series with, Robin as the title. So then long story short, he moves on to being Nightwing. He does get a series once he becomes Nightwing, eventually. And then Jason Todd comes in as Robin. He also doesn't get he actually never gets his own solo series at all. I don't think, if I remember correctly. And then, of course, Jason Todd dies. And Batman starts getting a little uncareful because he doesn't have a Robin. Tim Drake, this kid, figures out that from watching a particular, he was there the night Dick Grayson's parents died. He recognizes this particular acrobatic stunt that he sees Robin do on TV that he remembers Dick Grayson doing. It's a little surprising that he would be the only person to remember that, but okay. And he figures out that Bruce Wayne is Batman, and so he goes, and his mission originally is to get Dick Grayson to go back to being Robin. Dick Grayson says, no. And so Tim Drake becomes Robin, and he, kind of goes out once or twice in the old Robin costume, but here in his first miniseries and the first series titled Robin, he is going out to train in places like Paris to earn more skills to being Robin, and he is, of course, the second non-adult, or this is the first time a non-adult Robin has gotten a different costume than the original Pixie Boot costume. So we've got and Tom Lyle is doing the art. And Brian Boland is doing the cover. But Tom Lyle would be very heavily identified with the character for quite some time. So, first ever Robin #1. There you go. Goes through issue 5. King Snake, blind martial artist, bad guy. Lady Shiva, actually, come to think of it, figures in here as well. Then he got actually this annual. I think this annual predates it would have to, or I would have put it in the next series. Predates that miniseries. Let me just double check to remind myself. Yes, the series ends in May '91. This is 1992. So, I'm sorry. Okay, so the miniseries, then this comes out, and then the next series. That's what it was. So issue 1, Robin dealing with the Eclipso, the Darkness Within crossover, Anarchy, and then he has another annual that comes out before the next series comes out. With Razorsharp, we saw a couple of boxes ago the Cyber Rats miniseries. She was one of the leads there. This is her origin. So that's Robin Annual 2. So then we get the next Robin series, which is running at the point not too far in. Within the first year of the next series, they have 0 Hour, so we have the 0 issue. Excuse me, for Robin there. Just kind of a cool Tom Grummett doing art. Tom Grummett, one of the unsung heroes of DC. Just very steady, clean artwork. But yeah, there's the actual number one. Gets a car. Every kid wants a car. The Redbird. Through issue 4, he meets the Spoiler. Turns out to be Stephanie Brown, the daughter of Clue Master. Would go on to become a Robin herself, and eventually a Batgirl. Issue 5. There. This series would last. The series goes on for a long time. Be involved in all of the crossovers and things. Robin. So we've got the Bruce Wayne, the Knight's End thing. So issue 8. Issue 9. So this would be, I believe, Jean-Paul Vallée, the Azrael, because he originally goes out in the normal Batman costume before he starts altering it. Issue 9 through 16, taking care of Spoiler. There. Issue 17, going back up against King Snake, getting some help from the new Huntress, Mike Wieringo, rest in peace, doing the art, on the cover anyway. Issue 24, Underworld Unleashed, the villains are all getting an upgrade, Killer Moth getting turned into an actual man moth. Right there. And issue 25. There's it teaming up with the Green Arrow, the Green Arrow 2, if you will, or 3, depending on how you look at it. Connor Hawke and Spoiler hanging out. And issue 32, part of the Legacy crossover, and which was a disease that was going around, and they're all running around trying to find the cure. So that is all we have for this box. Okay, so that was 125. Next time it'll be 126. We've got some more Robin to do, and then we will get into things like RoboCop, Rocky Horror Picture Show, and eventually get into Rogue. So it's going to be a good time. Hope you'll be here next time. Thanks for being here this time, and hey, have a great day.